you were talking a couple of weeks ago about the festivals that are going on. Of course, Glastonbury starts immediately. And what is going on with festivals around the country?
Well, it's interesting. At the moment, there's a lot of festivals going on in London. Obviously, we've got Glastonbury Festival this week, which has doubled its profits from last year. And it's always been a bit of a contentious thing because it's becoming more and more corporate, and it's Evis has entered his 90th year, and he's handing the baton over to his daughter, Emily Evis. But they've come under a bit of criticism from Neil Young. I mean, he's been very vocal about it being corporatized and he said we were told the BBC was now a a sort of a partner in Glastonbury, and he wanted us. They wanted us to do a lot of things in a way we were not interested in. It seems Glastonbury is now under corporate control, and not the way I remember it. So that's Neil Young's take on Glastonbury, and I think it's probably about right. But we do have this thing where in London, a lot of the local councils in London are taking over parks for the benefit of putting on big, large events for profit. And over the last few years, this has been expanding steadily. And there's an accumulative total of about 140 days of ticketed music festivals and concerts planned across London parks for 2025, up nearly 14% since last year, according to analysis by the Financial Times. Now, this is really councils, bankrupt councils trying to make money because they haven't got enough to maintain the parks, apparently. So those festivals and councils, revenue generating strategies are on unsteady footing after a High Court ruling last week by planning judge Tim Mould-Casey found that Lambeth Council's decision to grant permission for events hosted in Brockwell Park was unlawful after a legal challenge was brought about by local residents. The Protect Brockwell Park campaign argues that the council has been prioritising for-profit events that reduce local access to the parks. And this, it causes damage to the ecology and contributes to neighbourhood noise and pollution. But despite the ruling, the festivals in the park are going ahead. Of course, nobody takes any notice of the people. So Lambeth Council announced late on Thursday that it had approved the certificate submitted by the organisers. They've refused to say how much they'll gain from festivals this year, but an FOI request revealed that the park generated more than 500,000 of revenue in 2023. London Council, a governing body that represents the capital's local authorities, has estimated the total funding shortfall for all 32 boroughs is 500 million this year. So I think Victoria Park are making a revenue of about 1.6 million, and similar events at Alexandra Palace and Finsbury Park and many, many other local parks in London. As access to parks and green spaces is not considered a statutory requirement, councils are under no legal obligation to provide park services. So people simply, that's what they're looking at. They're looking at a sort of, a wall of green fencing if they want to go to their park. So this is quite interesting, and it shows the kind of, the ridiculousness of a lot of the sustainability stuff that local councils put out, but they don't adhere to it when it comes to making money.
But Sandy, I think the main problem for the councils at the moment is that they're basically all bankrupt. They're scrabbling around trying to find every penny that they possibly can because they've been asset stripping the councils for so many years now. And this is the reason that this is, well, one of the reasons this is massively important, apart from the impact that it has on the ground in local communities, is because this is part of the restructuring, the constitutional restructuring of this country. And the changing in the nature of councils. But of course, once we start seeing the likes of Sadiq Khan and Andy Burnham appearing on the scene, the chances of local voices being heard becomes that much smaller.
Yeah, exactly. And it'll only get worse with devolution. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, thank you, Sandy. Okay, let's move on to this.